All right, so now let's begin, and it's time to have the keynote address. So I would like to request the presence of our distinguished guest who is present here amongst us. For the welcome keynote, I would now like to invite Dr. Rashida Vapiwala, founder of LabelBlind. Can we have a big round of applause? All right, so her welcome keynote is all about use of artificial intelligence in global food labeling compliance. एक बार जोरदार तालियां फिर से हो जाएं आप सभी की. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, and absolutely a delight to speak with the audience here at the 10th Indian Food Safety Summit by Synnex. We have, in the last 2 to 3 years, in fact, from 21-22 onwards, in the advent of artificial intelligence, really started seeing some very fundamental, foundational changes in the way industries work. While we've seen a lot of ChatGPT come into our own personal lives, we've really seen the tables turned in the way we manage our businesses. Particularly for the food and beverage industry, this is a watershed moment where we're now agreeing that AI is present, AI is here to stay. It's one of the biggest inventions after the internet in the 1990s. Thereafter, what we now as a team are looking at is how do we use artificial intelligence into our systems, into our processes. Where will it particularly impact food safety and food regulatory compliance and the implementation? I'm here to shed light on the use of artificial intelligence for global regulatory compliance, how we as Indian businesses are, as we are looking at building our own exports footprint, how do we use artificial intelligence for food labeling, food regulatory compliance? Our work in the space has particularly been towards digitizing of food labeling compliances. We've seen this up and close. We're building innovative products, innovative solutions that help companies digitize their entire end-to-end regulatory compliance systems. If you individually look at your current work process, how much time, how much effort is each team today spending on multiple stages of regulatory compliance? It's an entire product lifecycle management that needs to be taken care of, right from product and formulation compliance, ingredient permissibilities, additive permissibilities, allergen marking, nutrition assessment, and of course, looking at not just the India regulations, but international markets. Our aspiration is to export to 5 markets, 15 markets, 25 markets. How do you manage the compliances of each of the countries across scale? Advertising claims, how do you manage compliance for everything that you're promising on the label, on your e-commerce websites, on social media? How do you keep updating yourself for continuing regulatory changes that are coming through the system? And not to forget the entire process of artwork validations, with cross-functional team getting a check from legal, marketing, regulatory affairs, all of these processes. We're spending not just weeks, even months and quarters to get this entire process in place, get this entire process streamlined. Now, this is exactly where traditional workflows and manual processes are beginning to a certain extent, fail us for scalability. They are human-led in nature. They come through multiple stages and are very consecutive in nature. They do not run parallelly as much as we want to. And they are very human-dependent, hence error-dependent. What AI does is transform the entire food compliance from a manual check to an entire integrated multi-level compliance checkpoint. It's an entire automated workflow that looks at improved accuracy, reducing the risk of any known compliance, and of course, accelerating your speed to market, not just for India, but for international markets. We look at a couple of cases within the product life cycle of how we're seeing this address. Let's look at product compliance automation. Now, even before we get to labels, even before we think of getting to the market, we need to get our formulations in place. We need to look for their ingredient standards. We need to check whether the ingredient standards are meeting our product categorization compliances. Are the additives permissible for use? We need to map the ingredients, the additives to the product standards, the categorization, the selection of the category, licensing. All of this you multiply by the number of markets you want to do business with. This part is repeated for India, it's repeated for US, it's repeated for UK, Europe, Japan, wherever you want to export. Who is flagging restricted and prohibited ingredients? The system does that. So it's an entire AI-driven system that is looking for detecting the gaps in compliance around ingredients, formulations, your prohibited or banned ingredients in certain markets. There has to be a system that tells me that an ingredient XYZ permissible in India is not permissible in the Gulf. It is permissible in a particular format in Gulf, but who's telling us that? Today, teams are very manually dependent. But AI engines are highly capable of getting this point addressed. They standardize ingredient nomenclatures. What should a wheat flour be called in India versus a wheat flour be called in Canada? And all of this is nothing with the help of creating very structured regulatory rule sets and compliance records for companies. The impact to business is unprecedented. It's, of course, it starts with the formulation stage, but it breaks down and extends itself into right till the process of label creation and taking the product to market. Another area where we've seen artificial intelligence have a very significant impact is to ensure the labeling compliance across markets. You imagine your AI system to be validated against country-specific rule books. Rule books around how the food name has to be mentioned, how ingredients are to be written, how additives and allergens are to be mentioned on the front of pack, on the back of pack, front of pack labeling. We're looking at market-specific mandatory declarations required for certain categories. We're looking at translations. Translating to Arabic, translating to French, translating to European Union languages in the context of food labeling. And we've seen that companies struggle with that a lot. Imagine a Delhi address getting translated into Arabic, and we don't even know which words are right or wrong. But artificial intelligence comes and helps us do that. Your entire agent helps you do that. AI also helps us harmonize labels across markets. How do you put together a label that is compliant for not 1, but 3 or 4, even 5 markets to optimize packaging inventory, optimize the label requirement within companies? Then validating front-of-pack labeling regulations, which are now becoming critical across markets. They're becoming mandatory in Canada, they're mandatory in Singapore. US is talking about it, India is talking about it, Singapore already has it in place. How are we to manage our formulations to ensure that front-of-pack labelings are taken care of? Also, the reduction of duplication of effort and the time that it takes for manual checks. So your entire AI-driven regulatory engine takes care of these processes simultaneously, not necessarily one after the other, at the same time with very little manual input. How AI helps is that it helps us scale proportionately with very minimal increase in manpower. Similarly, for advertising claims compliance, detecting of phrases that are high risk, mapping regulatory clauses, identifying what claims are permissible, where are disclaimers required, what conversations we need to highlight, what words cannot be used. All of it is flagged with accurate data, compliance observations, even recommendations. So AI can come to tomorrow recommend the right verbatim, the right claim in the context of your product and the context of the market that you are wanting to trade into. Of course, all of this with proper workflows and audit-ready documents. I'll put a video for you, and you'll see one particular case study in action, and you'll see how AI is coming to help businesses. Is there music with this? That's an AI label validation workflow. It's a matter of selection of category and you uploading your artwork as well as your product specification sheet. That's all that AI requires. In 3 to 4 minutes, the system is able to kind of validate your information on 60 plus parameters of FSSAI and legal metrology compliance. It tells you what name of food is permissible, which parameters are compliant, which need a review, what is the clause, what is the regulatory requirement. The system is able to come and tell you that. How much of your time do you think you will be able to save? From something that takes like an artwork check for around 60 minutes, we're bringing it down to 4 minutes. Put in another 5 minutes to build the report. It gives you all the parameters, your mandatory declarations, nutrition information. It matches the number to your spec sheet. It does a level of proofreading. It will check your translation as well. It will tell you about product imagery. What photos were found on your label? Are these photographs permissible as per the law? Is it the right photograph that you have used for your product? You download the report, you send the necessary action points to your colleagues in legal, to your colleagues in marketing, and you get the entire chain done in a matter of minutes. You do not need to put hours behind a behind a product label check any longer. That's how AI is coming to impact us. It's transformational in nature. It's the way paper maps were replaced with the GPS system. It's the manner in which ERP came to impact our food manufacturing processes. It's transformational. It's going to change the department activity into an enterprise level infrastructure. That's my time. Thank you very much. I'll be happy to take some questions on the floor, should you have. And I'm wishing each one of you a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to request you to kindly stay back with us on the stage. And we would like to felicitate you. May I now request Mr. Kumar Tarun. He's the Director, Quality and R&D and Regulatory from Bisleri International. Requesting you, sir, to kindly felicitate ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors, and thank you very much, ma'am.